What's up, Hammers supporters? Before diving into today's news, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you think about West Ham's situation. You won't want to miss anything. The season has barely begun, and you can already feel that something different is in the air in London. West Ham United has entered a new era with the arrival of Nuno Espirito Santo, and let's be honest, the mood is one of total curiosity. Of course, every coach who comes in brings a package of anxiety, doubts, and expectations, but in Nuno's case, there's something extra he is. Known for organizing teams for getting the best out of squads that many times were not considered favorites. So it's natural that the Hammers supporters are keeping a close eye to see if he can turn West Ham into a more consistent, more competitive, and maybe even bolder team. The debut against Everton was the first chapter of this story. On paper, it was just a draw. For those who only saw the result, it might have looked dull, unimpressive. But anyone who watched the game knows there was a lot more going on. West Ham weren't passive, they weren't that lifeless group we saw in so many recent matches. On the contrary, the team reacted, showed intensity, looked for alternatives. And for a first match, that's already quite a statement. And in the middle of that game, as always, BOWEN's name shone. He looks like he was born to wear this shirt. It was his goal that secured the draw, a precise strike, the kind that shows the confidence of someone who carries the team on his back when needed. And that's nothing new. BOWEN has been for years the balance point, the player who keeps the fire burning, even when the collective isn't working. But you know what was different this time? It wasn't just BOWEN. Next to him, a 20-year-old Senegalese youngster stole the spotlight. El Hadji Malick Diouf showed the Premier League audience that he's not here to make up the numbers. He's here to leave his mark. And the impression is that West Ham may have found not just another good player, but perhaps the most impactful signing since BOWEN himself arrived. And I'm not exaggerating. Let's rewind a bit to understand this. When BOWEN arrived from Hull City, many supporters were doubtful would he cope in the Premier League. Could he handle the pace, the pressure, the intensity? Well, the answer came quickly. BOWEN not only handled it, he became a reference point. His numbers speak for themselves. Last season alone, 36 matches over 3,100 minutes on the pitch, 14 goals and 10 assists. That's a lot of production for someone who, in theory, wasn't a big media star. And there's more. BOWEN isn't just about numbers, he's about personality. Even when the team was sinking under Graham Potter's command, he kept showing up. And that, my friends, is rare. A player who doesn't hide, who takes responsibility, who delivers in big games and small ones alike, that's the kind supporters truly admire. Now, under the watchful eyes of the new coach, another name is starting to gain space in this narrative. Young Diouf showed against Everton that he's not afraid of a big match. He didn't hide, quite the opposite. He defended with firmness, attacked with courage, and delivered top-quality crosses. It was his pass, in fact, that set up BOWEN's goal. And if the forwards had been more clinical with other chances, the youngster could have left with at least 2 more assists. And here's a personal opinion. It's been a long time since I've seen a fullback arrive at West Ham with such immediate impact. Normally, these players need months, sometimes even a whole season, to adapt to the insane pace of the Premier League. Not Diouf. He stepped in and played as if he already had plenty of experience. That's impressive because it shows not only technical quality, but also personality. And you know what's most interesting? This connection comes right in Nuno Espirito Santo's first match. It's almost as if coach and player have met at the perfect moment. Nuno likes compact teams, ones that can defend well, but also explode on the counterattack. And Diouf looks tailor-made for that kind of approach. The feeling is that with BOWEN and Diouf, West Ham may have found a golden duo. One represents confidence, consistency, and leadership on the pitch. The other brings youth energy and the ability to surprise. And if they can keep this partnership going, my friends, get ready. West Ham are going to be a real problem this season. Before we move on, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps the Claret and Blue family united and helps make West Ham stronger every single day. The saying goes that first impressions last, and Diouf has already captured everyone's attention. To truly understand the weight of this, it's worth looking at the journey of this youngster. Born in Ziguinchor, Senegal, he grew up in an environment of struggle and resilience, always with football as his escape. From an early age, he stood out for his pace and physical endurance. He was the type of player who never seemed to tire, who could run for 90 minutes without losing breath. It didn't take long before he was spotted and brought to Europe, where he developed at Slavia Prague in the Czech Republic. At Slavia, Diouf was polished. He learned tactical discipline, grew physically stronger, and most importantly showed he was more than just speed. He had technique, could cross well, and had vision. That's where he started attracting attention from clubs in bigger leagues. When West Ham stepped in, many thought he'd need time to adapt. But reality showed otherwise. He arrived ready to compete in the Premier League. And let's be honest, the Premier League doesn't forgive. How many talented players have crumbled under the league's intensity? How many arrived with great expectations only to become footnotes? Diouf could easily have followed that path. But he didn't. He stepped in and played as if he had been there for years. That, in my view, is what's most impressive. It's not just about putting in good crosses or making quick runs. It's about mentality. It's about not being intimidated by a packed stadium, experienced opponents, or tough markers. And against Everton, this became clear. He threw himself into the game, defended when needed, but above all, attacked without fear. And for anyone still doubting his ability to make a difference, just look at BOWEN's goal. His cross was perfect. That's not luck, not coincidence. That's pure quality. Now, when we say Diouf could be the best signing since BOWEN, it's inevitable to compare him to other names who arrived in that period. Lucas Paquetá, for example. The Brazilian is a world-class player, no one denies it. When he's inspired, it feels like the whole game revolves around him. But there's a problem: inconsistency. He doesn't always show up. He doesn't always maintain the same level. And to be fair, the Premier League demands consistency. You can't just shine every now and then. Another case is Mohamed Kudus. The Ghanaian arrived surrounded by expectation. He started well, showed flashes of brilliance, but in his second season, his performances dipped. Worse still, his transfer to Tottenham was seen as a kind of betrayal. That tarnished his image almost irreversibly among West Ham fans. And it's in this context that Diouf stands out. He didn't arrive with the same hype as Paquetá or Kudus, but in a short time he's already shown consistency, commitment, and personality. He's the type of player the fans respect because they see in him the essence of English football: sweat, determination, and of course quality. And here comes a crucial point: the relationship between Diouf and Nuno Espirito Santo. The Portuguese coach has a very particular style. He likes compact teams, solid in defense but explosive in attack. Anyone who's followed his work since Wolverhampton knows this. And interestingly, Diouf fits perfectly into that profile. He's physically strong, can run all game, has the discipline to defend and the courage to push forward. It's almost as if West Ham found the missing piece in Nuno's puzzle. And for us fans, there's nothing more exciting than watching this connection take shape. Just imagine a right side formed by BOWEN and Diouf, one delivering the finish, the other supplying with pace and dangerous crosses. It's a combination that could trouble any Premier League defense. And honestly, when I think about it, I feel like we might be witnessing something that could define an era. What excites me most is that Diouf is still only 20 years old. That means he has plenty of room to grow, to refine details, to gain experience. And if he's already playing at this level now, just imagine where he'll be in 2 or 3 years. That's why I say West Ham cannot afford to treat him as just another prospect. He has the potential to become a central piece in the team's rebuild. And there's another detail. In a football world increasingly dominated by huge sums and big money transfers, finding a gem like this almost hidden and watching him shine so quickly is rare. It's almost as if West Ham have genuinely struck gold. In the end, what's at stake is not just the present, it's the future. West Ham might be building a foundation that combines BOWEN's reliability, Paquetá's intelligence, the experience of other squad members, and Diouf's youth and explosiveness. That mix could be the key to taking the club to the next level. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. The most curious thing about all this is realizing how West Ham, a club that has so often lived through ups and downs, now seems to have found a foundation to build something more lasting. I'm not saying it will be easy because it never is. The Premier League is ruthless, it doesn't forgive slip-ups, and a team that dreams of competing at the top has to be almost perfect week after week. But for the first time in a long while, you can feel there's genuine hope, not just that fleeting optimism that dies after 3 poor results. And much of that has to do with the arrival of Nuno Espirito Santo. Anyone who's followed his career knows the Portuguese coach has his critics, and rightly so. He isn't the type of manager who seeks spectacle at any cost. He's not the one who will turn every game into a show of tricks and goals. But he's meticulous. He knows how to organize teams. He knows how to extract discipline from his players. And most importantly, he knows how to identify pieces that can make a difference. That's how it was at Wolverhampton. That's how it was at Valencia. And now that's how it's starting to look at West Ham. The connection between Nuno and Diouf almost feels like destiny. It's as if the coach has found a full-back who embodies on the pitch exactly what he believes football should be. Quick, tireless, disciplined, but also creative going forward. And it's no exaggeration to say that if he maintains this level, Diouf could become not only a key player for West Ham, but also one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League in the coming years. On the other side, Bowen continues to be that silent leader. He's not the flashiest, not the one making headlines every week, but he's the one who carries the team when needed. The combination of these two players at such different moments in their careers is almost poetic. One already established the other in meteoric rise, both pulling West Ham forward. And the fans can feel it. Those who follow the club closely know how the relationship with the team changes when players appear who truly make supporters proud. The stadium vibrates differently, the atmosphere shifts. It's not just about winning matches, it's about feeling there's a future, feeling the club isn't just going in circles. And this feeling is starting to spread. When you see a youngster, like Diouf playing without fear, taking on tough opponents, delivering perfect crosses and running the whole game, you think this guy could define an era here. And when you see Bowen once again saving the team with important goals, you understand why he's already considered one of the best signings of the club's recent era. Of course, there's still a long way to go. West Ham won't transform overnight into a title contender, but it can indeed establish itself as a Europa League or Champions League side, maybe even make historic cup runs. And for that, keeping the essence is fundamental. Players like Diouf bring energy, players like Bowen bring stability, and a coach like Nuno brings organization. That combination is rare and must be nurtured. I know many of you watching this video share the same feeling I do. West Ham is tired of being that team that promises but doesn't deliver. The fans are hungry for trophies, for big moments, for matches that will be remembered. And honestly, this current team is showing signs that it could provide exactly that. Here's a personal take: if West Ham can hold on to Diouf for a few years, and if Nuno can get the best out of him and Bowen together, we could be witnessing one of the most beautiful chapters in the club's recent history. It may sound bold to say this so early, but football is built on feelings, and the feeling this start of the season brings is that something big could be beginning. The future is uncertain as always, but for the first time in a long while, West Ham doesn't seem to be merely reacting to circumstances. It feels like there's a plan, a foundation, a clear path. And on that path, two names shine brighter than the rest: Bowen, the symbol of consistency, and Diouf, the jewel who's arrived to ignite the team. Whether destiny will confirm this impression, only time will tell. But for now, it's worth enjoying the moment. It's worth believing. Because with Bowen and Diouf side by side, West Ham finally seems to have found not just players, but pillars of a promising future. And for us supporters, that alone is reason enough to dream bigger. And that's all for today's West Ham news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with fellow fans, and of course subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, you Irons! So that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, share, and of course subscribe to the channel for more. Take care, and I'll see you next time.